Hi, this is Stephanie, and I'm coming to you today from Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York City, all the way up on 162nd in Fort Washington. So I apologize in advance for the poor audio and video quality, but I'm taping this on my laptop, so it can't be really avoided. As I believe I've mentioned before, I have infusions every 2 weeks, and the purpose of today's vlog is slightly different than the rest, and therefore, I'll be concentrating today a little bit more on sort of nitty-gritty details of part of my illness. I'm going to be talking about infusions and what that process is and, sort of what a day is like when you're up here. I know that a lot of people, sort of freak out when I mention that I'm going for an infusion, and they don't even know what to picture. And I know that people who are just starting to go for them or may have been told that a family member's going have no idea what that means. So I sort of hope that, by sharing with you what a day up here is like for me, that it'll help ease that process for the people who may be starting to go through this themselves, and it'll demystify it for the rest of you so that it's not something to freak out about. So what happened? I got here around 10:30, and I check in. They put like this nifty little bracelet on me that is barcoded, and they start mixing my medication. Now, my medication takes about 3 hours to mix. I'm not really sure why. It has something to do with the, chemical reaction. Nothing you can do about it. It's a high-cost medication, so they won't start mixing it until you're on your way up here. So it means you have to wait for those 3 hours, and there's just not much you can do about it. So I started my infusion around 2:15. Basically, they have you go back into a room, and everyone on this floor is an outpatient getting an infusion. There are people who stay in the hospital, and they go to a different, they have chemotherapy, I think, in their rooms, or infusions. Just to be clear, I'm not having chemotherapy here, and this is an infusion of another type of drug, but this is the same place I actually came when I was going through chemotherapy. It's an outpatient infusion ward. So, you come in, they call you back, they put an IV in, I have an IV, and they will give you what's called pre-medication if you're prescribed that. Anything from Benadryl, anti-nausea medications, steroids, depends on what medication you're actually getting. And then they'll actually start the medicine. So I'm going to try to see if you can see the little pump here that they'll program, and that controls the flow of the medication. And I think up there you can sort of see the IV and stuff. Today I'm actually in a semi-private room that I have alone, and that's nice. I don't normally get that. Normally I'm in a semicircle of about 5 people with sort of like cubicle dividers so that multiple nurses can watch people. There are private rooms, but they're reserved, or they're not reserved, they're utilized mainly for people who need to be lying down and are very frail. Sort of what room you're in depends on both your health and the availability. And truthfully, more than anything, the availability. They're normally pretty busy here. It's not the most fun thing, but as you can see, I look fine, and I think I look fine. And, there's nothing really that big to it. You do get used to it if you go for them on a regular basis. I bring a Verizon wireless card so that I can utilize my computer, and I actually generally get a fair amount of work done, especially in the waiting room. Sometimes once I'm back here, the medication makes you a little tired or whatever. So I'll put down work. The one thing they do recommend is that you avoid stress during the infusions. And once I actually did have a phone call that was stressful, and I started to have a reaction. So ever since then, I've been pretty careful to stay off email if I think I'll be getting any stressful emails, and off the phone. A lot of people bring portable DVD players, that type of thing. And some people actually sleep through their infusions. It all depends. So, as you can see, it's not that much fun, but it's not really a huge big deal. And, to be honest, I will feel pretty crappy tomorrow and the next day. But then by Monday night, I'll have pretty much perked up back to my old self. Actually, even better than my old self because the medicine will have kicked in. So, nothing that mysterious going on here. So for any of you who may be unfortunately needing to start having an infusion, any tips that I have, I don't know. The only real thing I can think of is, it's a really good idea to drink a lot of water before, or the night before, because that'll help them put the IV in sooner or easier. I actually don't really have trouble with IVs because of my illness. I don't really have the same sensation in my hands that other people do. So, one of the fringe benefits, I don't really feel the IV going in. So, that's it. I'm going to sign off now. Hope you learned something. Bye.